Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another walk around. This week I'm joined by the brand new MG3. There we are, looking very nice in its laser blue paintwork. So as always, I will show you around and also give you my first impressions of the car. So this is the facelifted MG3 and I think it looks far better compared to its predecessor. Now from certain angles it looks exactly the same, but you've got different alloy wheels, and if I come around to the front you will see it has a new face. There we are. Its design is inspired by the MG ZS, so it's got a similar kind of design language. You've got the similar grille. It's called the Star Rider grille, in case you're wondering. Not too sure why MG called it Star Rider, but never mind. And I do quite like these large headlights that kind of wrap around, and the shape kind of reminds me of a wasp's wing. Although I don't really like wasps, but then again, who does? Anyway, moving on. So yes, I think it's quite a good looking car. I do like the laser blue paintwork. It looks quite nice. If I come around to the back, it's virtually identical to its predecessor. Apart from, you don't get the odd shaped exhaust pipe that the pre-facelift model had. It had kind of like a rectangular exhaust pipe. It kind of looked a bit odd. So let's go inside the car, shall we? As well as the outside changes, the interior has also been changed as well. It's been given a complete overhaul, which is good because it really needed it. So this is the range-topping exclusive model, meaning you get these sport seats, as MG calls them. They're not proper sport seats as such. They're not a proper bucket, but MG calls them sport seats. They are comfortable to begin with when you first park your bottom. However, once you start driving for a bit, they do become a little bit uncomfortable. They're not overly supportive and they haven't got a lot of give to them. I must admit, they do look spongy when I do that, but believe me, once you start driving for a bit, the seats can be a little bit unforgiving. Right, let me step inside and show you the interior. Let me close the door like so. Right, actually, where is the key? Oh, it's down here. Marvellous. Right, pop it in the ignition. So, as you would expect for a car of this price, actually, sorry guys, I think the radio will play in a few moments, so I need to shut it down. So, as standard on the mid-range model, the Excite, so you've got 3 trim levels available. You've got Explore, Excite and Exclusive. So on the Excite and Exclusive models, as standard, you get an 8-inch touchscreen, which has DAB radio, as you can see there. Pardon me. You also get Bluetooth and Apple CarPlay, but you don't get Android Auto, which is a little bit disappointing for me because I've got a Galaxy S9. I also get a reversing camera as well. There we are, which the resolution is okay, but you get what you pay for, frankly. So the touchscreen works well enough. It's not the most slickest you'll ever use, but for a car of this price, you can't really complain. Speaking of which, this particular model, starts from £12,495. The Explore is £9,495, and the Excite is £11,395. So a very cheap car indeed. And as such, as you would expect, there are lots of hard scratchy materials about, but you really can't complain about that, guys, because like I say, it is a cheap car. What I will say is the interior is noticeably better compared to its predecessor. You've got this kind of funky silver tartan trim, which is quite nice, and this faux carbon fibre, which isn't really to my liking, but yeah, it's okay. But yes, you do get, plenty of hard materials, but as I said a few moments ago, you can't really complain because this is a cheap car. But you do get a flat bottom steering wheel trimmed with leather. There we are. It's quite nice. Let me just pull the camera back a little bit to give you a good look. You also get cruise control. I've got aircon down here, which works well enough, although it does take quite some time to get going. It is autumn in the UK, therefore quite often the windscreen steams up, so you have to kind of demist it, and that takes quite some time in this car. I left work the other day and I literally had to sit there for quite some time before I could drive, before the windscreen had demisted itself, which was a little bit annoying. Right, let's talk about cubby holes and storage. So the door bins aren't massive, but I've been able to get a 500ml bottle of drink in there, no problem. A little bit of space left over for a few smaller items. Now, quite annoyingly, the previous MG3 had 2 cup holders here, whereas the new one doesn't. I do get 1 cup holder in the middle, which is here. So I can put my bottle of drink in there, like so. But yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that I've had to sacrifice a cup holder to obviously, because of the new interior changes. But you get a cubby hole down here where you can pop your smartphone. There we go. Let me get my hand out of the way so you can see it. There we go. It's a decent amount of space. Got a few smaller compartments here, which I'm not really too sure what you'd pop in there. That is quite small. Got another bit there. I suppose you could put a bottle in there, I suppose. So let's see. Bottle does go in there, but obviously it will move about a bit. The glove box is quite small, so there we are. Yeah, you won't fit a lot in there, which is a little bit disappointing. Now, in regards to getting a good driving position, the steering wheel adjusts for rake, but not reach. However, that's kind of to be expected for a cheaper car. My driver's seat is 6-way adjustable, but if you go for the lower trim levels, the driver's seat doesn't offer as much flexibility. Right, let's jump out and I can show you rear space. Now, as always, the driver's seat has been set for me. I'm 6'2", so I am, of course, a taller guy. However, space back here is pretty good. I've got a decent amount of legroom and knee room, which is quite nice. So yes, that is pretty impressive. And my headroom isn't too bad either. So if I spin you around, guys, there we are. There we are. So I'm 6'2", as I mentioned a few moments ago. And yeah, I've got a decent amount of space back here. Now, could you fit 3 adults back here? Well, I think it would be a bit of a squeeze, if I'm going to be honest. Let me turn the camera around. The middle seat is quite slim, and you've also got a transmission tunnel down here. So the middle passenger will have to sit like so. Yeah, I haven't got a passenger either side of me, but already I feel cramped. So 2 adults back here will be fine, but 3 adults, no. I think it would be, yeah, quite a squeeze back here. However, for 3 children, yep, it should be fine. Right, let me show you the boot just before I get out. Quite disappointingly, there's no door bins for the rear passengers, but I suppose we've got that little compartment here, although your rear passengers will have to fight over it. Right, let me clamber out. Oh, blimey, that's a bit more difficult than I anticipated. So the boot offers a decent amount of space. It's not the biggest in its class, but it's not the smallest either. It offers 285 litres, which is pretty respectable. There you are. As always, you've got my filming stuff in there. The only downside is there is a very high lip. So that's the top, and then it goes all the way down to the bottom. So I actually went shopping with my wife the other day, and the shopping bags were quite heavy. She went a bit overboard in regards to the food shopping, and trying to get heavy bags of shopping over and out was a bit of a faff. So it could be a little bit more practical. If you want more space, you can of course fold down the 60/40 rear seats, and that will give you, I believe it's over 1,200 litres of space, which is pretty good. But as you would expect, the the rear seats don't fold flat, which may be a little bit disappointing for some, but that's not exactly uncommon in this class. There we are. Right, let me conclude by showing you the engine. Now, speaking of my wife, if you're expecting a Patsy Rates Cars edition of the MG3, I'm afraid it won't come, purely because she's still not feeling 100% and time, really. The days are shorter in the UK, which means that my time for filming is limited. In fact, I've had to squeeze this video in just before I film my main review, which I haven't got a lot of time to do because I woke up late this morning, but that's my problem and not yours. Oh, speaking of problems, I had a bit of a problem getting the bonnet open. Where's the support? So, like its predecessor, the MG3 has a choice of just one engine. This engine here, it is a 1.5 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol unit. It offers a whopping 106 horsepower with 137 newton meters of torque. This power is mated to the front wheels, this power is fed to the front wheels via a 5-speed manual gearbox, and you'll hit 62 miles per hour in just over 10 seconds, which does sound a little bit optimistic, and the top speed is approaching 110 miles per hour, so this car hasn't got a lot of performance. Now, in regards to economy, on a combined run, this engine will offer 48.7 mpg, and it emits 140 grams per kilometre of CO2, meaning for the first year of VED, you'll be expected to pay £205. So, yeah, it's not the greenest or most efficient engine you will find in a Super Mini. Right, let's pop this down. And there we have it, the brand new facelifted MG3. So as always, guys, if you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section below. There will of course be a full review coming. In fact, that's what I'm filming after I've done this video. But in the meantime, I would like to thank you for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If so, give it a massive thumbs up. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click that bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. And if you aren't subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Be sure to subscribe for more car obsession.